What would you do if a stranger demanded you abandon your home, your sanctuary, without knowing the power you held? For Ethan Caldwell, that question wasn't hypothetical, it was a spark that ignited a storm. The lake was his refuge, a shimmering expanse of peace where he'd rebuilt his life after loss. But when a letter from the Karen Heights Homeowners Association arrived, crisp and commanding, it threatened to unravel everything he'd fought for. The words were cold: remove your boat from the dock by Friday, or face legal action. Ethan's grip tightened on the paper, his heart pounding with a mix of disbelief and fury. Who were they to dictate his life? They didn't know the truth, nobody did. Ethan had come to Karen Lake 5 years ago, a broken man. After losing his wife, Clara, to a sudden illness, the city's noise and chaos had suffocated him. The lake, nestled in a quiet valley, was his escape. He'd purchased the entire property, lake, dock, ramp, and surrounding land with the last of his savings, a final act of defiance against a world that had taken too much. The deed was his shield, the water his solace. His small cabin, weathered but sturdy, sat at the lake's edge, and his boat, Clara's dream, bobbed gently at the dock. Every morning, he'd row out to the center of the lake, where the water was still, and talk to Clara as if she could hear him. It was his ritual, his tether to her memory. The HOA's letter shattered that peace. Karen Heights, a gated community of manicured lawns and self-important residents, had sprung up on the hills above the lake 2 years ago. Ethan had ignored their arrival, assuming they'd leave him alone. He was wrong. The letter, signed by a woman named Marjorie Platt, HOA president, claimed his boat was an eyesore and violated their community aesthetic standards. Ethan laughed bitterly at the absurdity. His boat, a modest fishing vessel, was hardly a blight, but the tone of the letter, condescending, entitled, lit a fire in him. He wasn't moving Clara's dream. Not now, not ever. The next day, Ethan drove to the Karen Heights Community Center, the letter crumpled in his pocket. The building was a sterile monument to wealth, all glass and sharp angles. Inside, Marjorie Platt held court, her voice sharp as she addressed a small crowd of residents. She was in her 50s, with a severe bob haircut and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Ethan approached, holding up the letter. "This yours?" he asked, his voice steady but edged with defiance. Marjorie's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Caldwell, I presume? Your boat is a violation. The lake is part of our community's view, and we have standards." Ethan's jaw tightened. "The lake isn't yours. I own it, every inch." The room went silent. Marjorie's smile faltered, but she recovered quickly. "That's impossible. The lake is community property. Our bylaws." "Your bylaws mean nothing," Ethan cut in. "I have the deed, signed and notarized. The lake, the dock, the ramp, it's all mine." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Marjorie's face flushed, but she doubled down. "We'll see about that. Our lawyers will handle this." Ethan didn't flinch. He'd faced worse than HOA lawyers. But as he turned to leave, a man stepped forward from the crowd, tall, wiry, with a nervous energy. "Wait," he said. "I'm Tom Wheeler. I live here. Can we talk?" Tom was an unexpected wrinkle. He wasn't like the others. His clothes were less polished, his demeanor less smug. Over coffee at a diner outside Karen Heights, Tom revealed he was a new resident, pressured into joining the HOA's crusade against Ethan. "Marjorie's got everyone whipped into a frenzy," he admitted. "She says your boat lowers property values. But I checked the county records. You're right, you own the lake. They don't know." Ethan leaned back, studying Tom. "Why tell me this? You're one of them." Tom hesitated, then sighed. "I'm not. I moved here for my daughter, Lily. She's sick, cancer. The lake, it's the only place she smiles. I don't care about their rules. I just want her to have something good." Ethan's heart softened. He knew loss too well to ignore Tom's pain. "Bring her to the lake," he said quietly. "She can ride in Clara's dream anytime." For a moment, it seemed like an alliance was forming. Tom and Lily became regular visitors to the lake. Lily, a frail girl of 10 with bright eyes, loved the boat. She'd laugh as Ethan rowed, her voice cutting through the stillness. Ethan felt a flicker of hope, a sense that maybe he could share this place without losing it. But Marjorie wasn't done. A week later, Ethan woke to find Clara's dream gone. The dock was empty, the ropes cut. His blood ran cold. He stormed to Karen Heights, where Marjorie stood on her pristine lawn, arms crossed. "Where's my boat?" Ethan demanded. Marjorie smirked. "Impounded. You didn't comply, so we took action." Ethan's vision blurred with rage. "You had no right." "We have every right," she snapped. "This community deserves better." That night, Ethan dug through his files, pulling out the deed. He called his old friend, Rachel, a lawyer who'd helped him through Clara's estate. She confirmed what he already knew. The HOA had no claim. But when Rachel dug deeper, she uncovered something shocking. The HOA's development had been built on land adjacent to Ethan's, but their permits were shaky approved by a corrupt county official who'd since been indicted. The HOA's claim to any oversight of the lake was a house of cards. Ethan could have gone to court, but he wanted more than victory, wanted justice. With Tom's help, he devised a plan. Tom, still an HOA member, leaked Marjorie's actions to the residents. Whispers of her overreach spread. Meanwhile, Ethan invited the entire community to a lake day, promising free boat rides and a chance to see the property they claimed as theirs. Marjorie fumed but couldn't stop it. Ethan's deed was ironclad. The day arrived, crisp and sunny. Families gathered at the dock, curious but wary. Lily was there, beaming as she helped Ethan prepare Clara's dream, which he'd retrieved with Rachel's legal muscle. As Ethan addressed the crowd, he held up the deed. "This lake is mine," he said, his voice steady. "But I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm here to share. Marjorie told you my boat was an eyesore. She didn't tell you she had no right to touch either, that her HOA's built on lies." The crowd stirred. Marjorie pushed forward, indignant. "This is outrageous. You're trespassing on our community's rights." Ethan smiled, calm but lethal. "Check the records, Marjorie. Your community's permits are fraudulent. You don't own a thing." The twist landed like a thunderclap. Tom stepped forward, holding documents he'd pulled from the county. "He's right," he said. "I checked. The HOA's been lying to us all." The residents turned on Marjorie, their trust shattered. She stammered, her authority crumbling. But Ethan wasn't done. He turned to the crowd. "This lake is for everyone. Always has been. I'll keep it open, free for your kids, your families. But not for her." He pointed at Marjorie, whose face was ashen. For a moment it felt like triumph. Lily hugged Ethan, her laughter a balm. But the victory was fleeting. That night, as Ethan sat in his cabin, a call came from Tom. His voice was broken. "Lily's gone," he choked. "She passed this evening. The lake, it was her last good day." Ethan's heart shattered. The lake, the boat, the fight, it all felt hollow. He'd won against Marjorie, exposed her lies, kept his sanctuary. But Lily, the girl who'd brought light back to his world, was gone. The next morning, he rode to the center of the lake, as he always did, and spoke to Clara. "I fought for you," he whispered, "but I couldn't save her." The lake was still his, but it would never feel the same. The water was still, the dock empty, the ramp silent. Ethan had won everything and lost what mattered most. Nd.